Hi fam, my name is Tiffy and welcome to my channel. While you're here, please make sure that you subscribe and that you're following me on social media at Tiffy Starchild. Let's jump right into last week's episode of What If, and I'm gonna add a trigger warning because this episode was kind of messed up and extremely emotional. The episode is titled, What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart Instead of His Hands, aka Can a Bitch Get a Warning? And there are spoilers. So in this universe, Dr. Stephen Strange and Christine Palmer are dating. They got it together because if you remember in the first Doctor Strange movie, it seemed like they kind of tried, but it was really his ego that kept them from really doing something. But in this universe, when he's taking that drive to the award ceremony, they're actually on a date. She's with him, and she's the one that dies in that car crash, where in the first movie is the one that ruins his hands. So there's no more Christine. And that's what inspires him to get into the mystic arts. And then things kind of continue like they do in the movie. The Ancient One dies. He goes on to defeat Dormammu and become the Sorcerer Supreme. But it's 2 years after Christine's death, and against Wong's advice, he's going to use the Eye of Agamotto to go back in time and try to prevent Christine's death. They make us watch this woman die so many times. This was really the most difficult part of the episode. I had to pause, and it was only 8 minutes in. Literally everything that he tries results in her death. When he tries to drive carefully, she still dies. He took a different route, she dies. They make it there safely. Then she has a heart attack on the dance floor. They go to a pizza parlor, a random robber guy comes in and shoots her, she dies. He stands her up one night, and then her apartment catches on fire, and then it makes the news that she dies. And each time he's going back in time, he's using the Eye of Agamotto to go back and try to prevent it. It's so hard to watch, but it's also really beautifully animated. You feel so sad for him and you want it to work out so badly, and it just doesn't. I think at this point Marvel just enjoys torturing the audience, because I haven't forgotten about Vashon in WandaVision. Like, I can't. Then ultimately the Ancient One appears to him and tells him like, yo buddy, I am so sorry, but this is an absolute point in time. She has to die because then that's what's gonna get you into the mystic arts. You're gonna defeat Dormammu and become the Sorcerer Supreme. It has to happen. Sorry. And she's like, no one can do anything about it. But Doctor Strange, being Doctor Strange, is like, bet. I just need more power. They have a brief little scuffle where she tries to stop him, but he ultimately uses the Eye of Agamotto to get away. He ends up looking for the library of Cagliostro. And there he starts to absorb all of these creatures to gain their power. He gets a new cape. He ends up spending centuries there. Ultimately, he learns though that when he met up with the Ancient One, she didn't just try to fight him. She split him in two, knowing that he was gonna go down this terrible path. She created two Doctor Stranges essentially in one universe, one that went back into time, and that's the story that we were following, and another one that actually chose the healthier thing and was just like, okay, it's time to set this grief for Christine aside. I need to move on. So our bad Doctor Strange, for lack of a better word, he realizes that he doesn't have enough power alone, but if he fuses with his other self and he's whole again, that'll give him the power that he needs. Meanwhile, the other Doctor Strange, the good one essentially that hasn't gone down this path, is just learning about this. And that's because as he steps outside into the world outside of the sanctum, all of reality is falling apart. They're like oozing away, they're disintegrating. So he has to go fight this other version of himself. He gets some protection spells. The entire sequence is really dope how they prepare. And then the fight scene itself is crazy. It's crazy. I need y'all to go watch this episode and go see this fight scene, because Marvel is giving us so much in phase 4 of the MCU, and this show is no different just because it's animated. It keeps getting better. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is supposed to be coming out March of 2022, and they're saying that it's going to be the first rated R horror film in the MCU, and I'm just like, how? After seeing this episode, I see how. It is terrifying. And what's wild about this episode is that he loses. The Doctor Strange whose side we are on, we're like, yeah, because we don't want the universe to be destroyed. We don't want reality to fall apart. Like, we get it, you're sad, but like, what's that got to do with me? He loses the fight. He gets absorbed by the other Doctor Strange, and he has the power he needs to bring Christine back. Again, it is just the most beautifully animated sequence, and reality just starts to fall apart even faster. That was just like, that was it. this universe is done for. He's using his powers, trying to stop everything, and he's so powerful. Here's what's crazy. He's so powerful. He addresses the Watcher directly. He's like, help me. You can stop it. And the Watcher's like, actually, I can't. You brought this upon yourself. Like, I'm really sorry, but there's really not much I can do. And he just disappears. Christine dies and disintegrates in his arms anyway, so he just continues to lose her. Didn't even get a chance to say goodbye, and at the end of the episode, the entire universe has just imploded around him to a single point, and he's like in this crystal of his own power, sobbing and apologizing alone. It is tragic. I just wanted to be entertained. I just wanted a nice little superhero show. And what's interesting is we're learning that this show, it is canonical because we have the multiverse that is open. These things are happening, and we don't know if maybe we're going to see some of it crossover. And I don't know, this could just be, you know, fun guessing. I haven't heard anything of it, so if you know, please drop it in the comments. But we have this insanely powerful Doctor Strange that's just out there in the universe who is accessible. Like I said, I think that each episode gets better, so if you are not watching this series, I highly recommend that you do. This show makes you think, because what would you do? What would you do? Like, what if you lost someone that was so dear to you, but then you found out that you have the power to bring them back? Maybe I wouldn't go down this exact path, but you know what it also makes me think of? So much of the conversation regarding Doctor Strange's behavior in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer is like, oh, it's not very like him. He's pretty arrogant. He makes some pretty bad decisions, and in this universe, like, it ended up in everybody being destroyed. That's terrifying. If you want to talk about Marvel things with me live, I stream every Monday for Black Nerd Problems on their Twitch channel, so catch me there Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, make sure that you are following all my social media. Each place, like I said, gets a little something different, but yeah, come find me there. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I will catch y'all next time. Love you. Bye.